Okay, guys, um, welcome back. This is not going to be your typical half an hour video. It's kind of more of a public service announcement. As you can see, this is going to come out before that video does, but starting to tear into the motor now. But it's currently Thursday or Friday. Got the day off. We were on 410, so just got my new steering shaft in. Nice piece, you know. Just want you guys to, when you order new parts, always do your due diligence. Don't just assume, oh, brand new, drops in, fits. Steering shaft is probably the cheapest, but probably the most important part of your project. It's where you reach the wheels. Yes, you got the brakes, you got the, your throttle and everything. It's your second thing. This is how you control your car. So even if your brakes quit, you can still steer the thing out of danger. Even if your throttle takes off, you can still turn the key and turn the damn thing off. But please do your due diligence when you're installing parts. Make sure you're using the right hardware. Make sure everything's fitting correctly. I'm going to take you down to the steering box here and just let you know Classic Industries is definitely getting a phone call over this. Not for me trying to get a refund, which I'm going to get a refund for this, but more for the fact of this is a safety hazard. This product is that they're selling. Beautiful. I mean, looks like everything's repop perfect. First part of it is this piece right here is a little off, which I can pinch it, I can make it work so there's no slop in the steering. This is the worst part right here. This part, the end part here. So the factory one, you'll see when we go down here to the steering box, the factory one uses a bolt like this. This threads in. Let's see if I can get it here. The threads thread into the, here, let me switch you guys modes here. The threads thread into the, actual piece here to hold it in place. And then the flat part engages on the steering box. There's actually a knurled inside like half moon. And that is, so if you're steering, if this bolt does come loose, as long as this bolt stays in place, that steering column is not going to come disconnected. You're going to have some sort of steering. For how long, who knows? But that's a safety thing. With this one, I don't think I got much of it left. But put the bolt in. You can see this bolt's already broken. There's no knurling or no flat part on this bolt. And actually, if you hold it up to the other bolt's fatter. It actually engages that half moon. This bolt doesn't. No matter how tight you tighten it, if you take a pry bar to it, you can still pry the thing off, which is unbelievably unsafe. When you tighten it, it should tighten and not only have the tightness to lock it in place, but it should have that half moon to lock it in place for safety. This cheap Chinese bolt is not the right bolt. Threads don't match. It's not like I could take this and put the factory bolt back in it and make it work. The threads don't match, which is fine. This is not a grade 8 bolt. It's black. You can see the inside. It's not a grade 8 bolt. A grade 8 bolt will not snap like that, and it will not snap like that. No matter what it says, this doesn't even have any markings on the top of it. Junk bolt. Junk bolt makes junk product. So, with that, the only thing that I can do right now with this, the only reason I was replacing my factory was because of this broken seal here. There's no slop in it. It works just fine. It's not cracked down here. It's just dirty. I was just gonna get a new one, you know, so I didn't have to take the thing apart and change that seal. Simple fact, you know. 120 bucks, I just replaced the whole thing. Don't do it. Do your due diligence if you get a product in, even though it says it's OEM or new, or, you know, obviously this isn't from GM. This is from an aftermarket company. But this is a safety hazard. And I'm not doing this to get on Classic Industries. I'm not doing it because they buy it from third parties or second parties. They don't make these, they just sell them. But what they need to know is that this product is not safe to sell. Because what if I put this on and did take it out on a track and smash the car up and, you know, hurt somebody, run into a crowd, run into another car? This is where you control your vehicle from. So it may sound like I'm ranting and doing all this, but I'm doing this to inspire people to get into vehicles and get into cars. And don't just assume when you're buying new parts that they're just going to work. They're just going to fit right on there and not have an issue. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you check and see if it's fitting right. I mean, we had that small little issue on the hub. I made sure to call QA1 to make sure that they knew, and if they felt like keeping it in their records, which they should, that the holes don't line up. That's how they make a better product, is feedback from you guys. Now, don't go on there and just start yelling and screaming. I mean, I'm not going to do that with Classic Industries. They're currently not open, so. But I'm going to let them know that I'm very upset with not only, you know, the product, but, you know, there's people in this world that don't, new part, put it on, oh, brand new. They don't look at that stuff. And I hate to say it, but, you know, you got to put warning labels and everything, because nobody thinks anymore. So please, 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 when you buy a new part, especially something as important as a steering shaft, please make sure that you're not looking at it. I'd love to say some different language, but I'm trying to keep it clean. I've already got one bleep in here, so please look at this stuff. Please make sure that you guys are not only installing new parts, inspect them. Make sure that they are working properly. One, I mean, this works fine, just like, you know, this is also a safety thing. You know, the front of the car gets smushed up. This is so the steering column doesn't go in your chest. It doesn't yank it off the front of the car. So make sure this is working. But also make sure your safeties are working. I was gonna put it on and just ride with it. And then all this, it's like, no, don't just ride with it. You know, doing 70 down the highway, 80 down the highway, and family van. This falls off. What are you gonna do? You think Jesus is just gonna take the wheel? I mean, he's gonna do his best, but you gotta look at this stuff. And that's why when I went and put the steering box back on, I inspected it. That's why when I put the other arm on for the steering, I went and got new grade 8 bolts for it. The steering box, I inspected the bolts, made sure there was no cracks, make sure they were in really good condition. Steering box falls off it's the same thing as this. So please, I know I'm probably ranting. I know I'm not doing this for the views or anything. I'm not trying to keep you guys from going to Classic Industries, because they do have a lot of good products. But please, when you do buy a new part, please just do your due diligence. Make sure it fits right. If it doesn't fit right, make it known that it doesn't fit right. Don't be snotty. Don't be an ass. Another bleep. Don't be mean. Call them up. Like I said, Classic Industries doesn't make these. It's not like they're repopping these in the back room. They're a sales outlet. And usually when sales outlets have issues with a product, they go back to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer makes their changes that they need to make. I hope this is the case with this, because Joe down the road doesn't know anything about cars but really wants to get into it. He doesn't know in his head to, do this. Look at it, inspect. New product, put it on, let's go. Send her 120 mile an hour down the, quarter mile. It's dangerous. So they'll be getting a phone call. What I'm gonna do with this is try to steal the seal out of it. After I get off the phone with them, find out what they want to do, and try to get my factory steering shaft cleaned back up, make sure I inspect it. It's also another thing, don't throw away anything until the other part's done. I had the brakes, so I can chuck the old brakes. They're not done yet, but I'm gonna make sure that they are working the right way. I kept my old steering shaft. I could have just thrown it away. Kept my steering shaft, kept my bolts, kept my hardware, kept everything. Even if I plan on getting new hardware, even if it comes with new hardware, keep the old stuff. Because like I said, old hardware, new hardware, you can clearly see that there's something not right with this one. So with that, it's only been 10 minutes. I don't want to rant anymore, but I wanted to get this out there so that you guys doing these projects can make sure when you put this car back together, when you put those brakes on, when you put a steering shaft in, 120 bucks. That a 50-cent bolt could have sent your $15,000, $30,000. Hell, I've even seen people put new parts like this on, show cars. $100,000 cars. Could have this steering shaft in it. There you go, $100,000 down the tube, from a $120 project. Amazing how many zeros this is taken care of. So look at it this way. Like I said, not bashing the product. Looks like the build quality is great. Just sloppy on the finishing details of it, on the actual stuff that matters. So with that, I'll leave you guys off here. Like, subscribe. Sorry for the rant. Sorry for if I offended people at Classic Industries. I'm giving them a call, calmly, patiently. Not saying everything is bad there. Got some other stuff from them. Perfect. It works out great. Please, this is more of a do your due diligence, do your research, put the product on, make sure the product fits correctly. Like I said, fits, goes right in, hooks right up. This one leaves slop in the steering wheel, which I could have figured out a way to get around it. I shouldn't have to, but I could figure out a way to get around it. But this is the hard part. This part right here is when bad stuff happens. So accidents happen with this. I've seen many of cars just, they have steering issues. Geometry is not right. You know, it's another reason why when you stick with a product, you go with that product fully. My suspension kit was designed for factory geometry. So that's why I stayed with the factory geometry spindle. Even a drop spindle might change it. There's other kits out there that have their own spindles. They're designed for that spindle. So please do your due diligence. Don't just cobble a bunch of parts together and think that it's going to work. Don't go just buy it now and, oh, it's going to be great. Don't do that. There's other things in this project that, you know, we're going to go through, and don't skimp on. Big thing. That's how you control the car. So like, subscribe. Please be careful out there. Please look after everybody when you're putting your car together. Make sure you're not doing some cobbled up, you know, don't forget a cotter pin and a castle nut. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys off here. I know this is out of my regular schedule. I usually like to put one out every 4 days, but I'm gonna put this one out now because I had the problem with it now, and I don't want anybody, if I can do it one day earlier, I will. So this is insurance. Please, please don't trust that everything's right. Take your time. Enjoy the hobby. Everything else is fun. I mean, we enjoy getting dirty and you know, learning different things, but do it safely. Buy safe products. Don't just buy the cheapest things. So with that, I'm leaving you guys off here. So I just wanted to add on to the back side of that video that I just posted. This will probably be in the ending part of that video, of said video. I did just get off the phone with Classic Industries. They're refunding me, which is fine. But they also wanted me to send them detailed pictures of the problem and the issue with the product, which I did. So hopefully they get it resolved. Thank you to Classic Industries for keeping up with issues like this. And I mean, he wanted pictures, which that's what I want to do, you know, when it comes to a product like this. I don't want somebody else to get hurt. I don't care about my money coming back to me. I care about people's lives that could be involved in this. So thank you to Classic Industries for wanting me to send that to you. Nothing better to say. So appreciate it. Thank you. Be safe out there. And moral of this story is do your due diligence when it comes to this. So they're fun toys to play with, but they also can kill people. So with that, have a good day.